Good day and thank you for joining us on Beetv News Update at 3. I am Liberateman Johanna. Now the news in details. The Commissioner of Police has urged residents to remain security conscious, especially regarding abandoned vehicles. He emphasized that any suspicious or unattended vehicle should be reported to the police immediately. The report.
Marking 1 year since the Lagos State Police Command assumed leadership of the State Command, the Commissioner highlighted key achievements during this period. He revealed that the command had recovered more than 150 vehicles over the past year, reinforcing efforts to enhance public safety.
Police personnel in 50 team to the coastal road. He had an engagement with them and he gave them on-the-spot allowances to encourage them and to boost their morale. So the kind of structure that Mr. Governor of Lagos State put in place, security structure, that if you bring any officer as Commissioner of Lagos State with the structure and architect being in place by Mr. Governor, such an officer must definitely perform.
The Commissioner of Police also assured residents that nightlife in Lagos has returned to normal and is significantly safer, noting that increased patrols and improved policing have made the city more secure for residents and visitors alike.
Created what we call the nightlife squad. This nightlife squad are made of entirely police personnel in about 4 patrol vehicles. They go through the hotels, places of recreation. They equally go to nightclubs and other to ensure that security of all the area mentioned are properly in place. And we have not had any single complaint from those who go for nightlife.
However, he cautioned the public not to ignore abandoned vehicles, stressing that they could pose serious security threats.
Once a vehicle is abandoned, it can constitute a security risk to the people in the vicinity, so that we don't know the purpose why the person abandoned it is, or must have been stolen somewhere, and when the police are everywhere on the street, they go in and abandon them. And some can have incriminating item that can even indict all the people in the areas. So once you see a vehicle the first day, even you don't need to wait for 24 hours. Once you see a strange vehicle that you don't know who the owner is, we quickly report at the division, and we are going to come and sweep them to know that there's no any explosive substance in it or other incriminating item, and take them and look for the owner.
According to him, the briefing covered the activities of the command from February 18, 2025 to February 18, 2026. Naomi Ewere, reporting from Beetv News.
The Civil Defense Corps has arrested a village head and 33 orders in connection with the killing of a police officer and the burning of a National Civil Defense Corps patrol vehicle by suspected illegal miners in Zungi, Kacha local government area. State Commander Zuberu Zaika and VA said the incident occurred on Wednesday, February 11, 2025, around 12:30 p.m. during a joint patrol with the Nigerian Police Force and the local anti-drug control unit at a mining site operated by Millennium Metals Mining Company.
The good people of Niger State that security operatives in the area have been reinforced and normalcy is being restored. On credible intelligence, at about 1800 hours, same day, a special squad, that is our tactical team of Nigeria's Security and Civil Defense Corps, launched a comprehensive, responsible for the attack.
Delta State Governor Sheriff Oboriwori has received the torch of unity for the second Niger Delta Games. reaffirming the state's commitment to youth empowerment and regional cooperation through sports. Represented at the Government House in Asaba by its deputy Monday Oyeme, the governor described the torch as a symbol of peace, unity, and a collective resolve to use sports as a tool for sustainable development across the region. The chairman of the Delta State Sports Commission, Honorable Joshua Oboriwori, said the flames reflects the shared strength among the Delta states. He added that Delta State has completed local and state trials, including training camps, to ensure its best athletes compete in all 16 events at the Games.
And promote excellence and steer our youth away from social vices. Through these initiatives, such as Niger Delta Games, we inspire young men and women to dream boldly, to embrace hard work, and to channel their energies toward productive and fulfilling pursuits.
Delta State loves sport. We will always back events that connect our communities and let the young talent show their skills. This flame reminds us to work as a team, with joy and respect.
Communities at risk of flooding in Jigawa State are receiving fresh support as UNICEF and the Nigerian Red Cross scale up early warnings and preparedness efforts to safeguard lives and livelihoods. This intervention targets Hadijia, Ayo, and Miga local government areas where annual flooding continues to threaten homes and farmlands. Speaking in Duse, Disaster Management Officer of the Nigerian Red Cross, Timothy Yohana, said the initiative is equipping residents with the tools to act before disaster strikes. Activities include radio awareness campaigns, house-to-house sensitizations, flood stimulations drills, and the training of local emergency response team.
I recall the incidents in Maiduguri recent time during the flooding time. But currently, if you have been following the data of NIMET and NISA, you will see that the predictions is anchoring much more that there will be a flooding disaster, drought, and others, particularly in northern Nigeria. And I think Jigawa is one of the most cited ones that the disaster will be affected. We want to look at how the disaster preparedness response can be promoted in Jigawa State. So we are having a kind of a workshop and a training jointly.
The ad hoc committee in the Green Chamber probing the performance and benefits accrued to the federal government from concessionaries operating air and seaport terminals has given relevant agencies and concessionaries a 7-day ultimatum to submit all requested documents. Initially, the committee proposed a 72-hour deadline for the submission of documents, but following appeals during an interactive session, it resolved to grant agencies and concessionaries 1 week to comply. The lawmakers also directed that the chief executive officers of the affected agencies and organizations must appear before the committee at the expiration of the ultimatum to account for their records and address any discrepancies.
We are very serious about it. So asking for submission is helping you out of this quagmire, because if it happens, it's found on your head, so it's none of my business. But you must give us the document that is requested of you. And we attach a data to that document. Yeah, there's a template.
Can you bring, we collaborate We'll look into them where you have done well in accordance with the agreement and your agreement is still valid. We'll give you thumbs up. That's the essence of the hearing. And where you have not done well, you see it for yourself that you have not done well.
You're still watching Beetv News Update while we go on a short break. To stay with us.
I am Amade Dexmod Enabulele, the Executive Chairman, Edo State Sports Commission. Esteemed people of Edo State, the second Niger Delta Games are here. I warmly invite every resident on behalf of Edo State government to come and witness the excitement of the biggest regional games taking place right here in Benin City from 20th to 27th February 2026. The opening ceremony is scheduled to hold at the iconic Samuel Bermuda Stadium on Friday, beginning from 5 p.m. I encourage families, youths, and sport lovers to come out in large numbers to support the athletes and enjoy world-class competition as we host the rest of Niger Delta people in our dear states. Together, let us showcase the hospitality and passion of Edo State as we make this edition of the Games memorable. Thank you.
Welcome back, and now in the business segment. President Bola Tinubu has called for reforms to the global financial system, arguing that African countries face disproportionately high borrowing costs due to persistent misjudgment by dominant international credit rating agencies. In an opinion article, the Nigerian leader said Africa is paying too much to borrow and stresses that call to eliminate the so-called African premium, the perceived gap between
projections from the International Monetary Fund that rank the continent among the world's fastest growing regions. Tinubu described plans to establish an African credit rating agency as a necessary corrective. He said such an institution would help address what he termed a major weakness of existing agencies, limited on-the-ground presence and insufficient understanding of local economic conditions. Concerns are mounting in Nigeria's aviation sector over rising airport and ticket charges, with retired Group Captain John Ojikutu warning that new levies by the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria could further strain struggling operators. He said multiple taxation threatens the sustainability of aviation businesses and may weaken the industry. Ojikutu urged FAN to properly assess its existing revenue from passenger traffic, flight operations, and cargo across its airports before introducing additional charges. He estimated that current income from passenger service charges, landing and parking fees should amount to at least 400 billion annually, excluding other revenue sources. He also criticized FAN's spending priorities, alleging inadequate investment in critical infrastructure such as perimeter and security fencing, despite recommendations made in a 2004 audit by the International Civil Aviation Organization. The federal government on Tuesday launched the Growth Fund to provide affordable financing for over 6,000 young entrepreneurs trained under the Inspire, Create, Start and Scale program in a move aimed at tackling the persistent funding gap confronting micro, small, and medium enterprises in Nigeria. The initiative, powered by the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, was unveiled in Abuja. The event was in partnership with the German Society for International Cooperation, the Society for Organization, Planning and Training, and the Kaduna Business School. Speaking at the official launch, the Minister of Youth Development, Ayodele Olawande, said the government was committed to ensuring that training programs for young Nigerians translate into real economic opportunities. He noted that access to finance remained a major constraint to youth-led businesses, stressing that the new facility would address the challenge. Naomi Ewere, reporting from Beetv News.
And now on the global scene, J.C. Jackson, the trailblazing civil rights leader, Baptist minister and political activist, has died at the age of 84, his family announced. Jackson, widely recognized for his charisma and unwavering commitment to social justice, played a pivotal role in the American civil rights movement and was a close ally of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The report.
Born on October 8, 1941 in Greenville, South Carolina, Jackson rose from humble beginnings to become one of the most prominent African-American leaders of his generation. He became a Baptist minister and soon entered the national civil rights stage, working alongside King in the Southern Christian Leadership Conference and participating in major campaigns against racial segregation, voter suppression, and economic inequality. Jackson gained national attention in the 1980s when he launched two historical bids for the Democratic presidential nomination in 1984 and 1988. These campaigns broke racial barriers, energized minority voters, and cemented his reputation as a powerful voice for social and economic justice. Throughout his life, Jackson advocated for civil rights, labor rights, and international human rights. He founded organizations such as Operation Push, People United to Serve Humanity, and the Rainbow Push Coalition, which focused on empowering marginalized communities and promoting political activism. His advocacy extended beyond the United States as he became involved in global peace and humanitarian efforts. Jackson was also known for his mentorship, inspiring generations of activists and leaders to continue the fight for equality and justice. He was a frequent commentator on social and political issues, using his platform to call for reforms and encourage civil engagement. He is survived by his family, who confirmed his passing. Though they have not publicly disclosed the cause of death, Jackson leaves behind a legacy as one of the most influential civil rights leaders of the 20th and 21st century. Temitope Oluwafemi reporting for Beetv News.
On entertainment news, Nigerian music stars Tems and Burna Boy have set a new record as the African artist with the most entries on the Billboard Hot 100, surpassing South African rock band Sita. The duo moved ahead after earning new chart entries through their features on J. Cole's latest album, The Fall Off, Bounce Road Blues, featuring Tems and Future, debuted at number 34, while Only You featuring Burna Boy entered at number 78, bringing both Nigerian artists to 8 Hot 100 entries each, the highest tally for any African art. The report.
In 2026, Tems has landed 3 songs on the Hot 100, Radiance with Dave, What You Need, and the newly debuted Bounce Road Blues. The feat gives her the highest number of entries by any African artist on the chart this year, reinforcing her strong international run and growing influence in the US market. Burna Boy, on his part, has extended his streak as the first African artist to appear on the Hot 100 for 6 consecutive years. Since 2021, he has earned at least 1 entry each year, with his latest appearance coming through Only You. The milestone further highlights his consistency and enduring global appeal, reinforcing his status as one of Africa's leading crossover stars. In another development, Inado Odigye has announced the birth of a son, revealing that motherhood has kept her largely out of the public eye in recent months. The Nollywood actress shared the update with fans, explaining that she welcomed a child a few months ago and has since devoted her time and attention to her new role as a mother. Inado married filmmaker Tola Odunshi in an intimate civil ceremony in February 2025. Since then, she has focused on family life, describing motherhood as the most important chapter of her life so far. In her message, she assured supporters that her absence has been intentional as she prioritizes raising her son. The announcement marks Inado's first major public update since becoming a mother. She concluded by promising to return to the public space soon, signaling plans to balance her family responsibilities with her career in Nollywood. Nearly a decade after stepping away from mixed martial arts, Ronda Rousey has announced her return to the sport for a high-profile bout against fellow former fighter Gina Carano. Rousey confirmed in a statement that the matchup, billed as a major super fight in women's combat sports, will mark her first MMA appearance since retiring from active competition. The fight is scheduled to home live on Netflix on May 16 and is being promoted by Most Valuable Promotions, co-founded by Jake Paul. Carano last competed in professional MMA in 2009 before transitioning to an acting career, while Rosie dominated the sport during her prime, becoming one of its biggest global stars. Following her MMA career, Rosie performed with WWE until 2023 and pursued acting roles in major film franchises. Carano has also built a career in film and television since leaving competition. Their upcoming clash signals a significant moment for women's combat sports, drawing renewed attention to two of the sport's most recognizable figures. Naomi Ewere, reporting from Beetv News.
Lastly, in sports news, Nigeria's women national football team will face Cameroon in 2 international friendlies next month as part of preparation for the 2026 Women's African Cup of Nations (WAFCON). The Nigerian Football Federation (NFF) confirmed that the matches will be played in Yaoundé during the FIFA Women's International window from February 24th to March 7th, 2026, with fixtures scheduled for February 28th and March 3rd against the Indomitable Lionesses. The friendlies follows the cancellation of a proposed 4-nation invitational tournament involving Nigeria, Benin, Senegal and Ivory Coast, which was called off due to logistical challenges. NFF General Secretary Mohamed Sanusi said arrangements for the Cameroon matches will finalize in collaboration with the Cameroonian Football Federation, stressing that the objective is inadequately prepare the team to defend their continental title and secure qualification for the next FIFA World Cup. The 13th edition of WAFCON, organized by the Confederation of African Football, will be held in Morocco from March 17 to April 3, 2026, with the 4 semi-finalists aiming automatic qualification for the 2027 FIFA World Cup in Brazil. Nigeria remains the most successful nation in the tournament history with a record 10 titles, including their most recent triumph in Morocco. And that's it in our news update. Thank you for joining us. Do stay tuned for more updates in our major news at 6. I am Liberates Manjoana. Enjoy the rest of your day.